was prior to reveal after the Wild Swing response.
Hooray!
So sorry, folks. So sorry.
No problem.
Okay. Stream should be back. Yeah, stream's back. Okay. And room should be back. Oh, good. Okay. Well, that was a little bit glitchy. And here's the reveal. It is Seasoned Assistant to Sweep. That is almost worst case for Carl. He's going to deal 3 damage but takes 6 in return because Seasoned Assist loses all armor after. He does draw a card and he is not forced to discard, however, due to the passive effect of Seasoned Assist, which says whenever you discard cards during the strike, discard 1 fewer card. So it's not quite the worst case. Polar Knight's character ability gives him the after effect of placing an Ice Spike on the board within range of his attack. He must place it in an unoccupied space with this effect, however. So he can't place it under Carl. He places it 2 spaces behind him. This makes sense. A number of his attacks give him the ability to push the opponent 2 spaces, and Grasp also has push roll 1 or 2. So 2 spaces away from the opponent is a sweet spot for threatening the Ice Spike. Sorry about the start turn buttons. That is just due to the glitch that forced me to reopen the room. Alright, that was Carl's initiative. It is Polar Knight's opportunity to respond now. Striking from hands. Well, the telegraph here is a grasp. Carl plays Power Short, the natural grasp counter. This will trade. So Power Short hits for 7 minus 2 armor is 5 damage, then loses all armor afterwards, and so takes 4 damage in response. There it is. Big trades. Polar Knight's after effect, once again, lets him place another Ice Spike. Sure enough, this is 2 heavyweights duking it out in melee. Carl's turn. Now, Carl's built up 3 gauge, so is Polar Knight. Polar Knight's exceed is 3 gauge, however, Carl's is 4. In order to be able to flip and get access to his fantastic exceed mode, Carl's going to need 1 more hit. The question is, how much is he going to trade for it? He prepares, building up more resources. Carl's economy is considerably worse than Polar Knight's. Polar Knight doesn't have much draw, but he does have a boost that lets him draw a lot of cards by spinning his Ice Spikes, essentially. Exceeding lets him place 3 spikes on the board immediately, so he spins his gauge to flip, fills the board, draws for end of turn, and now telegraphing that that rebuild might be available to him, which is the boost on Icicle Drop. What have we got? Forcing the opponent to discard a card at random from a relatively small hand. That is not a special attack, so the secondary effect does not activate, which would force the opponent to discard an additional card. Investigate, boost an improvised weapon. Using that card this way makes a decent amount of sense because improvised weapon is simply not valuable in the Polar Knight matchup. It is a 1 damage range attack, good for poking out speed sensitive characters, but speed sensitive Polar Knight is not. Looks like we have a couple more prep back and forth, building up those resources. So Polar Knight is a very stable character. One of his weaknesses is that he simply doesn't deprive the opponent of gauge because he will tend to take hits. He is a heavyweight. He lets his opponent hit him and he hits back a lot harder. This means Carl will probably hit his Exceed or gain access to Authorized Force, his Speed 6 4-gauge Ultra that does 10 damage, if he wants it. That said, if you're trading with Polar Knight, he's generally fine with it. He needs to start getting some value out of his Ice Spikes, however. He hasn't activated one yet, but then again, he didn't activate them when they were at 2 power, but once he's exceeded, they're 3 power, meaning he'll get maximum value from this point forward. Carl are probably stockpiling those power short, well, the other power short and those foci, I guess, in order to have opponents cannot move you on his attacks. That way he won't be forced onto the Ice Spikes. Our Polar Knight boosts Defend, telegraphing an Assault or a Shovel Charge. We have a Parry. Unsuccessful. Alright, well it wasn't a Shovel Charge, or the Assault. Alright, so the hand is 1, 4, 5. Drop and Charge. So drop is a spike-like. It has Ignore Armor and opponents cannot move you. But it does not hit at range 1, because he advances 2 or 3 as a before effect. Alright, this threatens the reading. Polar Knight counting those cards. Going to change cards, get rid of those known normals. All 3 of them. And this makes sense. Information management is a crucial part of Exceed, second only to resource management, at least at higher levels of play. Carl choosing his response. So Polar Knight telegraphs a mid-speed by playing the Defend boost here. Looks like Carl is setting up an EX Jack. Finally gets that bag out of his hands. Boost Fierce for +2 power. Threatening a really heavy hit. This is particularly scary because of that threat of Swanji Elbow remains live. Heavyweights in particular are very afraid of this card. Speed 4 loses to Grasp and Cross, puts it squarely in the mid-speed camp, but Ignore Armor and Ignore Guard means it is crushing against lower moves. Alright, we have Shovel Charge, looks like a boost, or a move action. Force cost for Overpower, which is +2 power and strike. Alright, he's got to set his attack now. He basically has to call whether Carl is going to play something fast or slow on defense, okay. Oh my goodness. Carl getting way ahead of things, set his response before Polar Knight set his attack. Oh man. Pretty bad misplay there. Oh well. Not misplay, sorry. Just hands tip, really. Gave away some information. Polar Knight still deciding his attack. Pretty nervous about striking into Carl here. Striking with one card. Elbow's the threat, so is EX Cross, so is Focus. What do we get? EX Grasp, blue. Ooh, no, that'll beat the Grasp by outspeeding it. 6 power over 1 armor is 5 damage. Dang. That'll stun Polar Knight. Deciding where to move him, decides to keep him at range 1. That makes sense. That's where Carl is scariest. That's the second copy of Authorized Force Down, meaning Carl's only remaining ultras are Autonomic Response. It's Carl's turn. Boost Light for +2 speed. That makes Elbow even scarier. EX Elbow is now on curve. Polar Knight prepares, so does Carl. Polar Knight's moving a little slower now, looking kind of, excuse me one moment. Apologies for that. What did I miss? We had an EX Assaults with Light beating out a Stomp with the follow-up Swanky Elbow. This one will lose to Stomp. Alright, so he gets pushed 2, goes on to an Ice Spike, gets popped for +3 power against 1 armor, will deal 2 damage. Interesting that Carl has held on to this gauge instead of exceeding. Looks like he's trying to keep momentum. Oh, or he could choose not to pop the Ice Spike. Looks like he did choose not to pop it. He's going to use his After Effects to place an Ice Spike at range 2, in range of his attack. Polar Knight initiating. The telegraph here is a dive or a spike. Potentially that shovel drop that we saw earlier. It's assaults. Carl responds with focus. So this is a 7 power assault, meaning it will trade up against focus, dealing 5, taking 4. Polar Knight has the initiative. Cannot place a spike under his opponent. Places it at range 1 behind himself instead. Alright, Polar Knight has now reached the critical threshold of 2 gauge. That means he is able to use his 2 gauge Ultra that has the text of block on it, which is Snow Slash, I believe? Yes, Snow Slash. Alright, looks like we have Shovel Slam. That'll stun. Shovel Slam can hit for 8 power. Wait, hold on a second. No, there isn't a spike under Carl. So it's only 5 power, meaning it will not be able to break through Carl's defenses of 3 armor and 3 guard. He's conceded, evidently. The 7 power for Power Short would have dropped him to 1 life. Fair enough. Well, with a victory for Carl, that'll be the set. Were the games, and well played. Thank you all very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you all around for more of Matchup Madness. As always, shout out to Taxicab for running this tournament, organizing this event, the Level 99 Discord for being a host to a number of great players. Hopefully I'll see you all around. Bye. Oh, right, and if you're interested in Exceed, you can try it for free. It's on Tabletop Simulator. This is the XFS Balanced Breakfast module, a free module maintained by yours truly, where you can try out all of the released content so far. Okay, once more, bye.